Hi, everybody. Just before we get started, of course, my name is Harry Jacobs, and I am the North of 60 Gamer. I just want to catch you up what's going on in my life, and this is a bit of a rant and a vlog, so take it with a grain of salt because I'm just kind of throwing things out there. I'm really not going to do a lot of editing here. I'm kind of just going to put some basic editing in here, so there might be a few flubs and ums and things like that because I am totally off script here. So let's get started with what I have to say. Later, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Harry Jacobs, and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome to the North of 60 Gaming channel. You may be wondering why I have not really been videotaping very much lately. I am actually back at it, and I am doing Avatar: The First Airbender Fire Nation, and I'm just editing that now after a bit of a hiatus for the last 5 or 6 weeks, and that's kind of what we're here to talk about in a vlog type format, a conversational format, as it were, between you and I, and kind of letting you know what's going on for the last 5 or 6 weeks. As I as 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 business cycles go at work, it's been extremely busy, and by extremely busy I mean crazy nuts. Working 9 and 10 hours a day for the last 5 or 6 weeks to deliver a project by the time I took vacation, which is kind of where we're at right now. We left on Friday. Didn't get everything done, but that is the nature of the beast when you do project work, especially in the government. I can't really talk about it because it is government, and I don't want to air those types of frustrations. But let's just say that in terms of what people see, they don't see what you do, they see what you deliver. And sometimes that in itself is a bit depressing when you're working that hard with, we having our final meeting and they're basically saying, well, is that all you did? That's all you delivered? Mind you, they haven't seen the 40 to 50 hours a week where you're actually doing documentation and talking to the clients. It's just, that's all you got. So that doesn't help in terms of the anxiety and depression, and I suffer from anxiety and depression. Partly brought on when the first time I had the going into non-sinus rhythm, and I am out of sinus rhythm, and if you don't know what that means, it just means my heart beats funny. The downside to that is the meds that control that are not exactly nice. Most of them are what they call rate controls, and there's some issues along with that. And I can go for years without a problem, on the meds. Hoping to have that fixed. They were supposed to fix it 2 or 3 weeks ago with a cardioversion. The doctor basically did not get the IV right, or the nurse didn't get the IV right. They pumped me through all kinds of drugs, but never put me to sleep. And then for the next 18 hours, once I finally said, that's it, I'm in, they kept pumping me, and we didn't realize it was going into the muscle. Finally, I just said, well, this hurts too much now, I can't take this. And he said, okay. I said, we're done. And they said, okay, we'll try it again in December, which of course they didn't do. I was hoping to have this done before I went on vacation. They didn't call. I'll probably have to follow up once again with our healthcare system here in the Northwest Territories, which is terrible for this kind of stuff. Which just adds to the stress of, being in that non-sinus rhythm, because it's like being tired all the time. It's like your heart doesn't beat right, and that coupled with a ongoing hernia issue, which again, I knew I shouldn't have had that operation in Northwest Territory. I did, and now I'm going to have to go in February to Edmonton to a specialist because it's a much riskier surgery now. Isn't that wonderful? What does that have to do with games? Well, games are my lifeline, and I mean, I love games, and I want to videotape games, but when you're out doing work for 10 hours a day, and then you have that heart condition, and you're in pain because of the hernia, and it's another disease that I have called diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperhidrosis, which basically means we've got a lot of calcium, and it's fused some bones, and it's made bone cartilage harder, and it causes a lot of pain. You may notice right here sometimes, it kind of looks like that. That's because there's a nerve pinch there now because of the calcium buildup there, and it's pinched my nerve, and I don't have a full range of movement there, and that's quite painful. So my life is full of pain, except, people at work say, oh, you're all so full of energy. And well, at work I have to be full of energy, but I collapse into a pile of goo when I come home. So, but I do have a ton of games coming up, and a couple of other things that have, I'm starting a video again. Here I am now. One of the things I really want to talk to everybody about, I got about close to 400 subscribers. I've been at this 2 years, and I'm still wondering why I only have 400 subscribers. I know I'm getting views because I can see the numbers, and sometimes I've had 300 and 400, yet I don't seem to be getting the subscriptions. And I know I'm just a small cog in a big pool of much better, I won't say always much better, but my peers, there's a lot of peers out there in this industry, and I've had some good luck in relationships building with some of the publishers, which is good because, publishers are giving me games now, and I've sort of trailed off on that a little bit just because I can't get to it and couldn't get to it. The Avatar, First Airbender is one of the last games that I actually have. So, and it's coming. I got another 45 minutes to edit. That's probably another 2 to 3 hours worth of work. I will have it out this week. I'm on vacation. I plan to spend plenty of time taping and doing videos, getting myself back into a frame of mind of it's the new year, come at it fresh. And one of the things I would really, really appreciate, is people subscribing and commenting and putting the thumbs up. It just shows some appreciation. I know there's lots of others out there. There's Paul Grogan, and there's Alex Radcliffe, and there's Quackalope, and all these other, folks that do what I do, but yet get thousands of subscribers. And I'm not looking for thousands of subscribers, and I've had a lot of new subscribers lately in the last little while, which is good. Because my video quality has gone better, and I want to get better, and I am going to get a new studio. I'm going to have a space, hopefully in February, over at the Tabletop Cards and Collectibles, or Games and Collectibles, which is a new store that's opening up soon here in Yellowknife with Edward Butt, the owner of Coyotes. He's moving his operations over there. We're going to open a card store, then a board game cafe, and a bunch of other things there, but it's been a very slow process, and I was really hoping that we'd be there by now, and I think that just adds to what goes on in my life. So those are just some of the things that sort of made me stop for a little while. For about 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I really haven't produced anything. I've got a couple games in the can that I just couldn't even face editing at that point. Just sitting down and editing it was a kind of like, I really don't want to do that. I just want to play Destiny 2 and shoot things because it takes my mind off of what's going on around me. I'm shaking myself out of it now. So thankfully, I'm hoping that I shake myself out of it. And hopefully this year will be a big year for me with the store and work and play. We got a great vacation coming up in May. We're going to England for about a month. We're hoping to see Paul Grogan going down to Devonshire. We've made some time, and Paul has agreed to meet with me, and maybe we'll do a segment, which would be quite a blast, and I appreciate that. We're going to go see some Broadway shows. We're starting in New York City. I'm going to see Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd hasn't been mounted since 1982. I'm very, very excited about that. It's one of my favorite Broadway shows. I've seen the video, but seeing it live is just going to be amazing. Then we're going to go over to England, and we're going to go to Jersey, Guernsey, the Isle of Wight, and a couple other places. Then we're headed to London, of course, the West End, and we're going to see Moulin Rouge. And maybe a couple other plays while we're there. Maybe go to Hembley's again. That's a great toy store. If you've never been to London, go to Hembley's, man. Oh, it's a great, huge toy store. But I think I've talked long enough. So as I said, I'm just coming out of my funk. Expect to see me back in the coming weeks, leading up to my vacation, just to get my head clear. But I have a lot of games that just came in. I mean, there's tons of them. The Wayfarers have come in. The Turing Machine has come in. Frostpunk has come in. I got this game from a friend, Shogun, which is from 2008 Queen's game that he said, you got to go learn it so you can teach it. I just watched a video this morning. Looked very, very easy. And I'm excited about it because it looks like a lot of fun because you drop cubes in a giant thing and cubes come out. And so it's so random. And I do like those random style games. I've got the Red Cathedral Contractors expansion. I've got the Star Wars expansion that I haven't even looked at. I've had it for months. I've got games sitting on my floor that I haven't had a look at in months. One of the big things that kind of irked me for a while, and it's still irking me just before we go, is Kickstarters. Kickstarters have become risky. And one of the things about it is just getting deliveries. I got about 3 or 4 Kickstarters now that are just like frizzling out. I think the cost of games are being under-realized by those who are producing those games, and that's no fault of the beautiful designers that are designing these games, but all of a sudden they realize that they're run out of money. Like Arkham Horror Chronicles, we just got we got all the PDFs and everything, but basically we got it all done, but we've run out of money and we don't know what to do at this point. So we're going to sit on these things until we can figure out how we're going to deliver them to you. Madeira is still out there from WSG or whatever they are. That's just a game I've kind of given up. Sorcerers kind of given up. We're not seeing monthly updates, and that's another thing. Communications, and they tend to go dark when things aren't going well. Instead of saying, hey, things aren't going well, please, bear with us. We're working through it. They go beep, 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 and then all of a sudden you assume the beep, and that's the end of the Kickstarter. So I got 4 of them in the States. I've been at it for 5 or 6 years, and all of a sudden this year has been the year where projects seem to be failing during the COVID. So some of those COVID projects are delivered. Some of them delivered on time. Most of them are a year late. Some is even 2 years late. I'm still waiting for Castle Van Logan. They said they were shipped out in November 30th, and I'm looking at the date now. Not here yet. Santa vs. Krampus, still not here yet. Canada is the afterthought of shipping. Why? We have to send your stuff to the U.S. Then we're going to ship it to customs. Then it's going to sit in customs for 2 weeks. Then Canada, we're going to send it for another 2 weeks to our hub in Canada, and then we're going to take another week to get it out and another 3 weeks to get it to you. So basically now, these games that are coming in now that everybody's playing, I'm not going to see till January, February. Please, Kickstarter, think of Canada. I'm tired of being the last guy getting games in the world. Oh, look, this is a great game. We're having so much fun playing it. Well, geez, it must be nice that you've got your Santa vs. Krampus for Christmas, and I don't. And by the judging of it by now, if it's not in this week, they were basically saying, well, we shipped them all on the 16th. Well, where I live, it's 2 weeks. I'm not going to see it for Christmas unless I'm very, very lucky. So it's still 2 weeks to get to me. Usually I'm 5 or 6 days lagging between out in Toronto. So as soon as Toronto starts to get to it, then I know I'm 5 or 6 days a week. Now, Santa vs. Krampus, I saw somebody in BC have it. Somebody in Calgary got it. So there's hopes that it might be on the way, but I could be in that last wave, which means that I'm not going to see it for a while yet. Beyond that, I'm going to just leave you on that note. I just wanted to get a little rant in. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to leave this live, and this is live. I am not going to do much editing here. I just want to get it up and show you where I am. And so we'll see you later. We'll see you with Avatar, the last Airbender, Fire Nation, sometime this week. And look for some games. pardon me, look for some games coming out in the next couple weeks as I've really slowed down on my purchasing. And so hopefully I'm going to use this chance and opportunity to play some of the games that have been sitting in shrink wrap for months. And that's what I'm going to do. So my name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, comment, like. Make me happy.